Hey, Stoat, be good, yo.
What's up, guys? This is the Blueberries Podcast. My name is Deck. I'm with my man
DG.
Yes, sir. And this is a follow-up, of course, of our last two episodes. This will be another Steel Curtain Sessions. This will be part 3. We're going to be covering the Steelers, of course. We appreciate all the feedback thus far. Of course, we always say that, but it's very true. We both are thankful for even one person saying this or that, one person viewing the video.
Yeah.
We're still a work in progress. As you can see, we're trying to make things a bit more aesthetically pleasing. We have a video today. It's new, so we're working on that. Same with the audio. We got 2 more mics, or another mic, I should say. We're working on that as well. So if anything comes out not quite perfect, it's just a process. But we appreciate you guys for hanging in there with us.
For me, the same thing. We appreciate the feedback and all the support. And like he said, it's a work in progress, but for the people that are sticking with us through the journey, we appreciate it.
No, for sure. We're just gonna roll into things. Also, we're gonna try to change a bit of our approach in some ways. Not drastically, but last episode I think was an hour and 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to move on from topics a little quicker. I know it's a bit of a commitment. I've been told by someone that was letting me know some things about the show. It's my dad. But he made a good point because it is a commitment when you see an hour-long video even. So we're going to try to get things rolling. If not, it's because we are both talkers. We like doing that. But we're in the right place for that. So
all right, we're going to get off topic a little bit. But
of course.
Yeah, so let's...
Yes, sir.
Jump in and things.
Our first, as you can see, I'm wearing the actual old school. But our first topic is going to be uniforms today. So I'm going to let D kick that off as I usually do.
I personally like the uniforms. I kind of wish, I can't remember who, but someone sent me the uniforms with black pants on.
Yeah. And
I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like that complimented the jersey a little bit better. But it's kind of like that bumblebee look a little bit. I think the jersey itself looks a little like soccerish, but obviously they're throwbacks, and
yeah,
I like them though personally. Like bringing back the yellow helmets with the gray face mask this time, I like it.
Yeah, I like the gray face mask as well. It's funny he said soccer because you're done, right? I can go. All right, my bad, y'all. It's funny he said soccer because I've worn this jersey, not this exact one, but this same style to school when I was younger, and people were like, "What soccer team is that?" I will say, just to start things off, I love the crest, the Pittsburgh coat of arms that's on there. I'm even thinking about getting it tatted, like I always have. I just think it looks real cool. I like the design of it, and it's old school. It's real. Like I think it was the early start of Pittsburgh. That was something that was cemented. And, the flag at PNC Park, always look over at that when I'm there. I like the crest. Now, with the uniforms, I like this better, like it being on the front of the jersey. The numbers, I understand. I mean, on these, they're closer on the chest, which they're reversible, I guess. I kind of like the badge.
Okay, yeah, we got the numbers.
We got the numbers on the chest and then the coat of arms on this part, which it's not a big deal to me. Because I like the history in Pittsburgh. We're an old school organization. I knew we weren't going to do nothing crazy.
It's like mixing the old with the new a little bit.
Yeah, the tan pants. My favorite throwback ever that isn't a Steelers jersey is the Packers jersey with the blue jersey, the circle yellow, white numbers, I think, tan pants, and they have like burgundy helmets. So I love a good old school look, but I do feel like we've been waiting for a while for something kind of like a little bit more eye-popping. Yeah. But I won't be mad at it because, like I said, I love the crest. I love the coat of arms, obviously. So yeah, I like it. I like it just because – and they brought the yellow helmets back. I grew up watching the yellow helmets with Palomalu and all them. So
yeah, I think seeing something new in general is just
refreshing.
Yeah, it's refreshing, and then on top of that, like the yellow with Ackershore being the yellow seats in the stadium and just the scenery in general, I feel like it's going to be nice. Wearing it against the Packers, right?
Yeah, which is going to be cool. Yeah, Aaron, playing his old team in an old school uni, like it's going to be nice aesthetically. I do think I'll say a couple random spoos off my head when it comes to jerseys. For us, I do think we should wear the yellow helmets with the color rush. I've seen a lot of people say that. That would look sharp.
That would complement perfect.
Yeah, and my boy the other day said that we should do it all white, kind of like the Bengals did, which the Bengals uniforms all white. I'll give it to him. Those are really nice. But I did tell him there wasn't all white. Like Jack Lambert in the 70s and all them, they did wear the normal white block number jersey with white pants with a black stripe. Yeah. I think if we did that with like a yellow helmet like we have or a white helmet, it would be cool.
I know that's what my dad was saying that. Like he was saying he wanted them to bring back the all whites.
Yeah, that would be tough. That'd be tough.
Yeah, I get it, but I like the yellow. I like it.
And our current color rush is nice. Yeah, I will say.
And that gives us something to say for the future too.
Yeah, I think we're so old school, but maybe down the line they'll do something a little different. But yeah, we'll leave that topic where it is. But I like the uniforms overall. I'll probably give it like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a C-. I'll give it a C- just because of the pants mainly. Just I don't know how well the gray face mask with the brownish pants and I don't know how it all complements each other, but overall I just like the different look it brings. So for me, I think it's gonna look cool for us to yellow being our main feature color. We don't see too often for us. So
yeah, our one boy tried to say that they should do gray pants with it. I think that's what he said, and I was like, I think black would have looked good, and I also think honestly, since the numbers are big and white on the front, maybe white pants would have looked all right. It depends on how you do it though. So there's a reason I'm not a uniform designer, but I am big jersey person. Like aesthetically, like I'm always like the Jets. I love their colors and stuff. So it's fun stuff to talk about. I'm sure you guys didn't come here just for uniforms, so we'll move on. You want me to spark this next?
Yeah, go ahead, take it.
So ESPN has a roster construction grade, a list each year that I'm somewhat new to. I knew about it, but I haven't been. I'm never heavily I don't rely on them for stuff just like PFF. Like I just don't think they're factual usually. I mean, when Brady was in the league, it was easy to say he's in the top 2 teams. Like that doesn't make you a smart person in football. We're ranked 19th right now. I'll lay it out. We're ranked 19th. The Ravens are ranked number 1, and the Bengals are ranked number 9. I'll go through down that list real quick, if that's cool.
Yeah.
So Steeler-wise, I have been. I mean, if you watch prior episodes, I've been somewhat critical of how our roster has been constructed over the years, but I've also acknowledged the difference this year, I'd say, in terms of acquisition of talent and having big names. And I am getting, with camp coming, I'm getting really excited to see a guy like Jalen Ramsey out there. At number 5's fresh. See a guy like Aaron Rodgers leading the team, but with all my criticism I have had, I just don't see how we'd be 19th. These people that we have added to the team this year are making our team a lot better, I think, than last year. And I was iffy on that, but just hearing that brought the Steeler fan out of me. I was like, no, you got it wrong. So 19th, I think, is a little crazy. I'm not saying top 10, but maybe 13 or something I could lean on.
You can argue top 10.
Top 10?
You can argue it.
Mostly with the names. Now, we'll see how it plays out. But 19th, they always do that to the Steelers. They always hate on us, and I'm somewhat quoting Adam Crowley from the Fan Early Morning Show. But it's true. They always get on us at the end of the year when they say, oh, Mike Tomlin's done so much with this roster. They're not good. It's this year I won't say that, even if he does, because these guys are dogs. I think we have a lot of players that are going to contribute this year. Mostly, I mean, we've been talking about it, these new guys. So I just don't see where that ESPN list is really accurate. Yeah. Mostly You can go. My bad.
Well, no, you're good. I was just gonna say we could kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be better. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So my opinion of that is 19th. I think is real low for us. In my opinion, I look at every position from last year, and you could argue offensively we upgraded in every position. I look at bringing in Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren coming back, probably being that feature guy now, which this might be, some people might disagree, but I feel like in a way Najee might have held back Jalen Warren's capabilities as a, being an RB1 or just by them sharing as much reps as they did. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Caleb Johnson, Gainwell, experience back. Saquon obviously took the reins over there, but him being that backup, he actually tore our defense apart a little bit last year when we played us. So we know he's very capable. And then you look at tight end room. We get better there. You add a guy like Jonnu Smith. Receiving room. Last year, Van Jefferson was going into the season was considered our number 2?
Yeah.
Number 3. Whatever the case
Basically.
was, Van Jefferson was in our receiving room starting. That alone, I mean, I think we're improving there. But I think you look at everywhere, we pretty much upgraded. And that's my opinion. But I feel like we upgraded. Obviously, we haven't played a snap of football. Just on paper and the look of it, we upgraded. We brought in, who is it? Darius Slay for Dante Jackson. That's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Losing Minka hurt, but bringing in Jalen Ramsey. I mean, I could go on and on. So, roster construction, I would put us top 10. I don't see why not. I mean, who can you argue 10 better teams that has been constructed better from the draft and free agency? But I mean, I'm interested to hear teams.
I was gonna say, because this is more, if it's a roster construction list, it does kind of beg the question of like, what have you done for me lately in terms of acquisition, in terms of the draft? And yeah, you're right. I think we had a good draft, and I think we had probably the best offseason acquisitions out of anyone. We made the most splash plays, I think.
100%.
Thus far. And that's not just because I'm a Steeler fan and I'm being kind of like in my own zone, in my own brain. Like, I had more emotion, of course. Like, I had reactions that were emotion filled because I'm a Steeler fan now. Like, I've seen what's going on around the league. I really think we've made the biggest jumps in a lot of positions in a lot of rooms. So I agree with that. Top 10, I'd really have to look all the way. But if this was like we're 19th on everything we've done in the offseason, I think that's what they're saying in some ways. But then again, they mean roster construction as a whole in some ways, like who we have.
Yeah, I don't know
there.
exactly. Yeah, I don't know exactly how they're putting it, but the way I'm taking it is just who did you acquire this offseason through the draft and through free agency, and I think you could argue that we're top 10 in that. Like he said, I'm not, micromanaging every other team. I'm a Steelers fan, so that's who I'm paying attention most to. Yeah. But I mean, we all got phones. We all get the updates. I haven't seen better pickups or things that fit what the team needs more than the Steelers. Honestly, I don't even know if I can name 10 teams.
Honestly, with how this is constructed, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not correcting him or me. I actually do think they just mean the roster as a whole because these next teams we're going to mention, I haven't heard a lot of splash out of either of them. So maybe they are talking about it. Either way, it's I would have the same energy, to be honest, just because who we're going to put out there, 11 on 11, same energy. I'll speak on the Ravens next. The Ravens are ranked number 1 on this list, and I'd say I respect the Ravens more than the Bengals and Browns. I think they're the next other organization in our division that I look at as a real rival, a real team. If I was from Baltimore, I can't even think of that. I'm supposed to hate them, and I do, but I wouldn't be mad at the team that I have. I love Lamar Jackson. I love Zay Flowers, Roquan Smith, all of them. But number one, I think that's insane. I know having a multi-time MVP quarterback jumps you up a bit. I just think their defense, like their cornerback room is not better than ours this year. Their linebacker room is arguably not better than ours. Just because I think of Peyton and Patrick Queen. I don't know who Roquan's partner right now is. That could just be a lack of knowledge on my part. I look at their line, their trenches on both sides. It's pretty good. Of course they're better than us in the quarterback room. All right, maybe I get why they're above us. One just sounds a little crazy because I'm thinking, okay, Derrick Henry too. They are stacked. Don't get it wrong. And they're definitely a team to beat.
Yeah.
Mostly in our division, they are the team to beat. I just think number one, like I would still honestly put the Eagles at number one. I don't think they lost any steps. They have everyone back, and I think they're adding people.
They lost a lot though. I mean,
they did.
C.J. Garner, they lost some pieces. To
Is he a backup still though? Like he's a depth piece. Like he comes in.
C.J. Garner, no, he started.
He was full on starting.
Yeah.
All right, lack of knowledge here, guys.
No, that's fine. But going back to the Ravens, I say Ravens is one of those teams, like, on paper, you will always have them contending for a Super Bowl or an AFC championship off a roster alone. So if you're saying roster construction like that, then number one, I don't know, top 5, yeah, I'd say so. Because
yeah, for sure.
I mean, even them getting Jair Alexander, that even though I agree with Declan with him saying their corner room's not as good as ours. I don't think it is. But, people will still consider Marlon Humphrey to be one of the top end quarterbacks in the league.
He's nice. Yeah.
Then you have Jair Alexander, who has been proven a little bit of a decline the past couple of years, but still an all-pro corner. Kyle Hamilton in the safety, so they have the pieces. I'm not really sold too much on their wide receiver room. I think Bateman he likes Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers, but is he a real wide receiver number one? We still don't really know, So number one might be might be a little bit of a push, but
I get top 5. I do.
Yeah. I'm actually higher on Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He thinks this is crazy.
Yeah.
But people that know me know I'm high on Cincinnati. Could be a little bit of favoritism. My favorite college team is LSU.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, I just look at when we just not to compare, but to compare with the Ravens and Cincinnati. If we're talking about teams who are coming back, you could look at Ravens are always like more consistent in the regular season. I don't think you could argue that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I feel like Lamar Jackson doesn't really get the job done.
I agree.
In the clutch moments. Joe Burrow has proven that he could go into Arrowhead and beat Mahomes in the playoffs. He's proven that he could go into Buffalo in the playoffs and beat Josh Allen. And their defense has been suspect for some years now. So when I put all those things together, I personally
their butt.
I think Cincy is the team to beat in our division right now. I look at their schedule. I mean, they have a favorable schedule. If anyone has time, go through their schedule. Go through our schedule. We have a favorable schedule, in my opinion. I think we could easily start off, maybe a little bit biased, 8-1, with our only loss being going to Cincinnati. And we do play good at Cincinnati, but I just have us losing that game and getting them back at home. That's a little bit off topic, but yeah, Cincinnati, I'm high on them because even though their defense was bad last year and has been bad, I'm a little high on them just because I feel like when they snap into that need to go on a stretch of wins, they do that. Their problem is always starting off bad. This is not a Cincinnati show, so I don't want to get too in depth about them. But I do feel like Cincinnati is. I feel like they're just. I have them over Baltimore whenever I'm looking at like who's the team to beat in the division. I feel like you got to put up points to beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ravens, you could beat them in that slugfest type of game. You got to put up points to beat Cincinnati. So
yeah,
I could go more in depth, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna let Declan put his opinion out there.
Yeah, I side with you when it comes to points. I'll say two things to spark it off to not get it confused with me thinking since he's a joke or anything. Definitely don't. The thing is, when you have Joe Burrow at quarterback 1, he's arguably the best in the NFL. Now, that's not my opinion, but he's definitely top 3 to me. You're going to look at that roster regardless of what you have and say we got a chance because Joe Burrow's amazing. And then you look at the fact that he has the number 1 receiver in the league, in my opinion, in Jamar Chase. You could put Justin Jefferson up there. You could put a lot of other people up there.
Yeah.
But I do think that Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the league.
Number 1.
And that's scary. And then you have T. Higgins that they re-signed, which is nuts that they were even able to do that. Cap space, times have changed. I can't sit here and act like Cincy isn't scary in that aspect. It is an offensive league now. So I think we said last podcast, I said Cincy might be the number 1 offense in the league. And I think DG was like, yeah, that's not crazy to say. So offense wins a lot of football games nowadays. It's not like how it used to be. Defense still matters, though. Okay? So what I'm getting into is he talks about how Joe Burrow went down to Arrowhead. Can't do that without a defense. He wasn't even in the postseason last year with immaculate numbers. I'm talking numbers that
historic.
If he would have went on a run, it would be one of the best seasons we've ever seen.
He had an MVP season, just not on the MVP team.
Yeah, and then I'll go into that. Like, their defense, I don't have to talk about how they're trash. We all know it's trash right now. And then the two things I'll bring up to kind of get out of this topic, like, a little quicker. I won't just, like, rush out of it. Only because these are two mic drops, in my opinion. Your first rounder doesn't want to be there. He's not at camp. He's probably going back to college if it's the legality would have to be sorted out.
He wouldn't be able to play, but he could. I'm pretty sure he could go back there and re-answer the draft and whatever he wants to do there. But
yeah, I heard there's a lot of negotiation stuff that has to go down. I'm not. He's probably more informed for sure on that type of stuff than me. College football is something I'm kind of trying to get into entirely. I've been such a diehard Steeler fan. Like, me and my dad, for some reason, ignored college for a long time, which is not a good decision because it's probably more pure football. I'm going to bring up Trey, too, Hendrickson. He's not at camp, and their owner said something along the lines of, I wouldn't say not paying him, but it just sounded, I can't even quote him, but it sounded very bland, very, very odd. And I'm also going to call their owner out for, I hate to say it, it's pure racism what he said about the first rounder. What's his name again?
Who? Shamar?
Yeah, he said, and the reason I call it racism is because if this was a white guy, I'm not trying to be this podcast, I'm sorry, but if this was a white guy, there would be, he probably wouldn't have said it, and there would probably be less eyes on it, or more eyes on it, I should say, less turning of the head. He said, I don't want to pay the guy. He could be in jail in a few years. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm calling it racism is because I don't like to judge a book by its cover. Got a slight country accent. Shout out to all the country people. I'm from North Carolina. I'm not going to think you're racist because you're just country, but he's an older guy. Kind of gives me like the owner of the Cowboys vibes. I don't think that was the right thing to say at all. Whether he's white, black, whatever he is, you should not say a player's going to end up in jail. Not that he's going to see this, but that was a horrible thing to say.
Yeah, I think that was irrelevant to the point he was trying to make. He could have said anything like, I don't know. He could have said anything like locker room issue, whatever the case. Injury, whatever. He didn't necessarily have to say that, but
we're going to move on from that. I just wanted to call that out. This isn't a podcast for politics or anything, but I think that's more humanist than anything. And when it comes to this game,
we're very unfiltered here on the Blue Bridge podcast.
Yeah. When it comes to this game, I mean, we were in a locker room together, and it's like there's jokes But then there's real life, and it's like as football is unity thing. It brings people together from all different backgrounds, races, everything. And I think as an owner in this league, mostly in the present day, to have something like that come out of your mouth, he deserves to be physically confronted. I'm not going to do it. I love my life. I don't want to go to jail. But I don't understand why he said that. We're going to move on from him because he's a clown, in my opinion. I don't even think that's an opinion. I think that's a fact at this point. We'll move on from that a bit unless you want to get a little bit into the AFC a little bit again. But AFC North, do you have anything else to say on the AFC North?
A little bit.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say because you didn't get to fully get in. So
I mean,
we're good, man. We're good.
If we're talking about standings, and I'll go back into my reasonings, me personally, this is just going into the season. This is non-biased. I might catch some slack for it, whatever. I think I will put Cleveland at the bottom. They have too much going on in the quarterback room. I think Cleveland's Cleveland. The decisions they make sometimes, it doesn't make sense. They're at the bottom until proven otherwise. And then I'll have us third in the division coming into the season, mostly based off of just not. We haven't seen it yet. We have guys that were proven on other teams, but we haven't seen anything yet. We're still, what's the word? We're still very
raw.
Not even raw.
Ungelled, if that's a word.
No, we're
unproven.
Unproven.
Yeah.
We are unproven right now. So you got to put us 3, I think. 2.
It's a good team.
Now I'll put my reasonings behind the top 2 because obviously these are the 2 teams that I'm putting over the Steelers. I'm gonna put Ravens at number 2. If we're talking regular season, there's a good chance Ravens are in the mix to win the AFC North. I think the top 3 teams, there's a good chance we're all in the mix. But the reason why I take the Ravens at number 2 is Lamar is Lamar. Lamar is going to do Lamar things. Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry is going to be Derrick Henry. But when it comes down to it, are they going to be able to get the job done? That's my question with Baltimore. Not that I want them to. Of course I don't.
Yeah.
I want them to do terrible. But realistically speaking, non-biased speaking, them being a top contender in the AFC, people expect them to make the run out of Super Bowl. I just personally don't think Lamar is capable.
He hasn't shown it.
I don't think Lamar's capable of stringing together those tough ones in the playoffs. That's my personal opinion. I don't think he's capable.
I mean, we've seen Burrow make it all the way. He didn't win it.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see out of just a fan perspective, a football fan. We have not seen Lamar make it all the way. There's been times where I was like, this might be my favorite quarterback in the league, but you can still put that on him. He has not been productive in the playoffs. I mean, yeah, he beat us last year. You could probably pull up stats and say he's been productive. Yeah. That's a wrong word. He hasn't been Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. And Lamar Jackson is arguably also the number 1 quarterback in the NFL.
I was just making this point the other day to someone, and I said Lamar put his team in situations in the playoffs where he hurt them. You know, the picks, the fumbles, return for touchdowns, the late picks against the Chiefs. I mean, he had Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers the year prior, I think fumbled at the goal line. So there's things that haven't fell his way either. But man, it's that coming from behind, constantly having to come from behind because he puts his team in positions where he's the reason they're in those positions where they got to come from behind.
I feel that.
And I look at Joe Burrow. I look at what fails Joe Burrow around him, and this is going into my point of why I'm putting Cincy number 1. I feel like his defense is the only reason why we're not talking about Cincy as some people still do. But Cincy in a way of they can win the Super Bowl because their defense has been bad the past 2 years, and I understand that, and I agree.
I put it right in my mouth. I'm sorry,
but Cincinnati. Go back to Joe Burrow. My bad, y'all. I'm getting off topic today, but Joe Burrow, he's proven that he could win those shootout matchups. He's proven that he has what it takes to not make mistakes and put his teams in bad positions where they won't win the ball game. And there's times where his defense hasn't shown up for him. I think their success depends on what their defense does, and so it might be a little crazy to put them number one. It's more of a hot take. It's more of just what I feel. I just feel like they're due because, like I said, schedule is favorable. They got a lot of tough games at home. Yeah, I got Cincy number one.
Okay.
Coming into the season, I got Cincy number one. That could change. We'll see.
My last comment on that is you're tripping. Only because currently, and Cincy number one in the division is a tough take, but it's not far from reality based on the fact that they have the best offense in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we have the first rounder, edge rusher, not signed. Things don't look good over there. Mostly with the owner's comments. I don't know if I would even want to go play for that guy. And then you got Trey. Trey's not re-signing yet either. So as of now, their roster is garbage on defense. I don't know exactly how their draft picks went other than him. I'm sure it was heavy defense. You would hope that if you're trying to make a run as the Bengals, I might even call Brian Urlacher out of retirement. I don't care. I need someone to do something on my defense. I'll move on from them. The only reason I disagree with Darius is because of the defense. So if they can address that room, and maybe they're doing it, they're in their jobs for a reason, and I'm on this couch for a reason. They know more than me. So I would hope that there's more going on behind the scenes defensively for Cincy. I don't think that's a take that will age poorly necessarily. Okay. I could see them taking off, signing Trey.
Before we do end this topic, one more point I want to go back for Cincy is I kind of look at how teams end the season too, and them ending the season the way they did, being hot, winning, I think, 6 straight to even
beat us,
be in a conversation to try to even get in playoffs. I think people are lucky that Cincinnati didn't get in the playoffs last year. I think they could have done real damage if they did.
Agree.
So I look, and a little bit off topic, but it ties into my point. Washington making all the way to the NFC Championship with a defense on paper who was not that good, but Jane Daniels being able to do what he did when he got into the playoffs, they upsetted the Detroit Lions. They beat Tampa Bay. So it's like one of those things. I think if Cincy could, don't want them to, but if they can get onto a hot start, there's no reason why they can't go on that run. And I think their schedule does help, maybe favor them to have a pretty good start. You never know. They lost to the Patriots week 1 last year, so I mean, I could be saying this and look stupid, but that's my hot take.
I like it. I'll mix in a hot take.
That's it though with Cincy. This is not about Cincinnati.
I'll mix in a hot take after this. I'll say there's something we could both agree on. This isn't a hot take at all. This is a cold take. Robert Woods, our probably 5th string wide receiver this year, said that he still sees himself as a wide receiver 1, although he acknowledges the presence and the elite level that DK Metcalf plays at. I love confidence. That's the only star I'll give him. I'll give him a 1 star for that comment out of 1,000 stars because he's nuts. This guy, way better at football than I'll ever be, but as a fan watching, he might. Those cleats are going to be clean. I mean, with Arthur Smith, he likes getting guys in. But let's just say that end zone ain't going to be his best friend. I don't think the guy is even going to be a wide receiver 4 at this point. I mean, that's crazy. He probably will be. But I just don't view him in a high regard at all.
What I will say about that, if Robert Woods is our wide receiver one, we're probably not having the best season.
The best.
But if I'm being honest, like I was ready to come in here and rip him because that's a crazy statement. But that's a crazy statement if you're saying that about 31 other teams in the NFL. With the Steelers,
bro, DK Metcalf.
He's not, obviously DK Metcalf is our wide receiver one, but
I'm taking Calvin over him too.
Me too, but we're still very unproven there is where I was getting at.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Who knows? It's good to have confidence, like he said. I disagree though.
What's the white dude's name? Number 15?
I'm sorry, 15 from the Steelers. I think
we know you. You're a great blocker. I'm taking you over Robert Woods too.
What is it, like Hispanic or something?
Hispanic?
Hispanic or hound?
Something like that. I don't know.
But yeah, no, Robert Woods. I'm sorry to tell you, you're not a wide receiver number one.
Yeah, we'll move on from you quick because that's just goofy.
But I do like the confidence. But that's like that. You know, I'm so through with stuff like that because last year Van Jefferson was hyping himself up.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like when you're on your last leg, you got no choice but to hype yourself up. He's on his last leg. So
another quick wide receiver thing I'll throw out there, just because it's something that I don't think is a hot take. If you watched the games last year, our biggest mistake, departure wise, of course, I love George, but I won't speak on him because it was off field stuff. I think Mike Williams should still be on the roster. I don't see why Mike Williams was a problem. I heard that maybe the play recognition and knowing his playbook was bad. But every time he was called upon last year in a bigger moment, I mean, yeah, confidence probably is wavering because he didn't seem to be like, I'm that guy. But he, talent-wise, and I just overall, like how he looks, like his contortion of his body.
He has a lot left in the tank.
Yeah. I think we should have kept him much more than a Robert Woods, and he'd be a legit wide receiver too if, like he said, he geared all the way in, got his confidence right. But I'll move on from that because our wide receiver room, I still think we need a wide receiver too, a legit one. We'll be waiting on that, Omar. So please come through with that.
Yeah.
And I'll honestly, a wide receiver 2 acquisition along with some safety depth. Shout out Jordan Whitehead. Hopefully we get Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah, Jordan Whitehead or Justin Simmons.
Yeah, that would be nice as well. Either way, a safety acquisition, preferably free safety, although I know Jordan Whitehead's a strong safety. I don't care. He's a homer, so we're going to root for him to be on the Steelers anytime, any day. When it comes to safety, I'll be crossing my fingers, not expecting much. Wide receiver, I'm expecting to get something before the start of the season. I won't be too happy if we don't have that, but like D said last week, I'm willing to roll into the season and be optimistic to a point. Other than the Rob Woods comment, which is insane, I'm going to go in. We're going to try to cover more training camp. I haven't been fully alerted with a lot of things happening. I mean, the guys are out there. They're doing their thing. I'll cover some big stories when they come up. As of now, I'm going to cover more or less what the guys have said at pressers. We can go into TJ's whole thing. You could start that out if you want. I'm kind of grouping them together, like his role on the team with moving around, of course, he mentioned, and him looking at Herbig as like a real guy, which we all have, and then as well as like him responding to the cryptic message or whatever. So
well, TJ, the cryptic. We'll touch on the cryptic message. What we're referring to, for y'all who probably know, for those who don't, the IG post where he put up the. When he put that up, I mean, me personally, I just feel like that was for, what was it, leveraging his contract.
Yeah, contractual advantage, really.
Yeah, I feel like that's all that was. I don't put too much into it. I mean, dude signed back with us, so obviously if it was something deeper, he probably wouldn't have had a chance to even be able to talk about it, but I think that was just leverage, flexing his muscle that, you guys will hurt without me.
I'm TJ.
Yeah, I'm here. So I don't have too much on that.
He don't even got to do all that, though. He could go. He could probably go face slam Tomlin's head off a desk and they'll keep him. Like, I'm not trying to make this a comedy podcast. I'm being serious. He's like the guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not going to get too much into I'm not going to critique him. I do think it's a little weak on his part as a guy on the couch that he would throw 4,000 yards.
I'll give him, I'll give him some leeway just because he's not one of those guys that does things like that, so I feel like he deserved it.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, your TJ, you felt like you had to flex your muscles a little bit. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it.
I'm calling it weak, not for the action itself. When I first saw the do signs, I said it's probably contractual advantage trying to get the Steelers to be like, oh, like TJ's not TJ right now. Like, he's getting a little into his diva, which, as he should. He's, in my opinion, the best defensive player in the NFL other than the likes of Micah Parsons and others. I'd say the reason I call it weak is just because when the reporter asked him, he backed out of it in a nonchalant way. I'm paraphrasing, but he was kind of like, yeah, I just did that kind of to stir things up, but it got way more of a reaction than I thought. Dude, you're TJ Watt. You don't do stuff like that. When you do something like that, it's either going to be perceived as truth or what it really was, which was, man, you're trying to get a contract, which I get it.
You know what? That was probably part of his. Yeah, exactly. I fight for him. That's probably what he wanted. He wanted it to gain traction. That probably helped his situation. That's ultimately why we probably signed him back.
One of the reasons, probably, maybe, because that energy as a whole, he's probably like, hey, like, I want to be a Steeler, but I'm not scared of testing the market, which understandably so. But, man, we were going to re-sign him either way. I don't know if the peace signs are fine with me. I just think him kind of backing out of the question a little bit. And, of course, he'd watch this if he were to. That'd be great. Yeah. But he'd be like, I wasn't backing out of nothing. But, he's PR trained. So, I guess it wasn't weak, but I just looked at it as like, you could just be straight up and be like, I wanted my bag. And he kind of did in a way, but whatever. To move on from that, just to talk about TJ as a whole.
I think Dak wanted an apology to the face. Like, I think he wanted TJ Watt to personally say, I'm sorry for making that post.
No, the post didn't bother me. I just think the way he backed out in the
playing around. All right.
TJ spoke on in that presser as well. He spoke on moving around, which is something his brother JJ, of course we all know JJ, spoke about loosely, but he covered it a bit on Pat McAfee's show, and he said that to expand his career, make it a little longer, as well as to be a bit more of a game wrecker, he needs to move around, and that's just football. At the end of the day, if you're predictable, even in your position, and not about like linebacker, edge, just knowing exactly where you're going to be on the field. You're going to be on that left side. My right tackle is going to be on you. That's cutting them down a little bit already. It doesn't matter how talented you are. So he spoke about moving around, and I love that. Of course, I think that's going to be part of the Steelers' defense this year is getting a guy like that all around the line, as well as, maybe even they'll put him at middle. Well, I've seen that. I've seen him do that and drop back in coverage. Whatever it is, I hope he does it to his fullest ability, which I know he will. The guy has a motor that I've never seen before, at least in my time watching live. But, not but like it's a bad thing. He also mentioned Herbig being a guy that he knows can be in that edge rush room and really make a difference, which both Wisconsin guys, very fond of each other. That's like his little brother. I think when he says that, though, there could be a lot more moving around than we think, because Alex Highsmith is that second guy and Herbig's that third guy. Maybe, there's some stuff. I'm not going to try to blow smoke or like act like something crazy's happened, but maybe they're going to move TJ around a lot more than we think, and they're going to have a package of TJ, Herbig, and Highsmith on the same time. We'll see.
It's possible. You could do that with TJ.
You could.
And packages. He's high on. TJ's been high on Herbig pretty much as he got into the
league.
In the league, into that edge rush room, and you can see it. Herbig he adopts a lot of what TJ does, so you could see like why TJ would be high on a guy like Herbig. I mean, I feel like he carries a lot of the same things that TJ does. He doesn't do it as high as a level, but given the opportunity, who knows? Herbig he can be really good in this league. Like, I think he could be a top end pass rusher. Sounds crazy right now, but you know,
I agree. We both said that the one episode. Yeah. We both believe that.
So,
he's a mentorship from the best. So
yeah,
makes sense.
I feel like, you know, and I think I touched on this before. Jack Sawyer and Highsmith, they kind of adopt the same traits a little bit. So that's what I like about it, is like we truly go 4 deep in that room. We truly go 4 deep interior, 5 deep interior. So,
I mean, seriously, I think it's a tough take because Jack Sawyer hasn't played yet, but I really do think
I just think what he brings to the table, like his playing style.
No, I'm talking about my tough take. I was gonna say.
Okay. Yeah. My bad, brother.
My tough take. No, you good. My tough take would be nowhere near just as comfortable, but I'm pretty comfortable with Jack Sawyer and Herbig out there. Like, if our 2 dogs, for whatever reason, were out, and God bless their career and their soul, I'd hope that they wouldn't get hurt this season. It's a horrible thing to see anybody go through, professional athlete-wise, but I'm comfortable in that position group more than anywhere else in terms of depth. Probably, we might have the best edge rushing depth in the league. I don't know who else would be better.
Yeah, maybe you could argue the Giants with Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and who else they just picked up? Abdul Carter.
Yeah, Abdul Carter.
I mean, but we still don't know. So I think proven wise for Steelers, no doubt.
Our top 3 right now are pretty nice. Doubt. Yeah. So more or less, TJ's presser. Just covered those few things. He said what he's supposed to say. Another guy, another new Pittsburgh Steeler that we'll get into his presser. Probably my favorite corner ever, and that's just my generational outlook. Ramsey. So Jalen Ramsey spoke on seeming to favor the corner position. He didn't say that directly. He played the game perfectly. He played the game like Tomlin would if he was a player in the NFL. He didn't say obviously as much as he would, but he beat around the bush a little bit, but was still kind of straight up. I appreciated his own confidence in himself because I do think he could still be a top corner in this league, and his stats showed that last year. I don't think a permanent move to safety would make any sense. I think we'd be wasting his potential based on the fact that the corner room is a lot more important than the safety room, and that's another reason I'll kind of brush up on my past takes with Minka is I think we did upgrade because, like, the corner, I already did say that you don't need a Minka at safety, but really you need a Jalen at corner in this room. And I think we actually won the trade now that I think about it. Because Jalen Ramsey, man, we haven't had a corner like that in a really long time.
No,
like I said, I love JPJ.
When you say that, you're saying the trade as a whole, like with Jonnu and...
Yeah, I'm starting to think we won it.
Yeah, 100%.
I was kind of in the middle, like it was a flush, but I think I said we slightly won it last time. But right now I'm really high on the fact that for the past, I like Joe Hayden, but for the past however many years, I've been looking every year like, still didn't figure out corner. It's probably the most confident I've been because I'm a big JPJ guy and I'm a huge Jalen Ramsey guy. Love to see him in the black and gold. He said he seems a favorite corner out of the 2 positions. He didn't say that directly, but we knew what he meant. And he kind of alluded to the fact that he'd go anywhere, but So in that case, Thornhill, some guys step up. We get some new depth. Of course, Deshaun back in the room is great. Another thing that was said in relevance with Ramsey and the guys we picked up, Darius Slay, and not even the guys we picked up. We got Darius Slay, Ramsey, and JPJ. It was said that they'll all 3 be on the field at the same time from Tomlin, which we somewhat expected, but at the same time, it wasn't a definite, and it's cool to see a guy come out and say, like, yeah, we're going to have JPJ and Ramsey, I think, would be at corner. You know, Darius Slay at nickel type thing. It depends on, like, the coverage itself and if they had trips or whatever. Like, what's going on the other team, but probably be a game-to-game, week-to-week plan. But I'm excited about those 3 guys being on the field because that is a good DB room. You can't go wrong with that DB room. You can't tell me that's not a top DB room in the league, even without Minka.
Yeah, name one. Please tell me one better. Please tell me a DB room better than ours right now. I don't care about the wash this, that, and the third. Tell me a DB room better than Darius Slay, Joey Porter, and Jalen Ramsey. You can't tell me one better.
I can't spit one off the top of my head, but I'd say there's definitely contenders. But I get where for sure you're coming.
Listen, this might be biased. I think 100%. Like there's no question.
Really?
No question. And you add in Deshaun Elliott. There's no question in my opinion.
I like that.
We'll
I like
see.
that. Even with the loss of Minka, I like that. That's
Yep.
I like that take.
Minka
I'm a
played
Steelers
the
fan.
best.
So.
I don't think Minka played the best the past 2 years.
Nah.
Minka is Minka.
I went into what I felt on it. Like schematically, we didn't set him up all the way. Try to get him back to his original position last year, free safety, roving the field a bit more. He did his job, but he didn't make the splash plays. And at the end of the day, if you do your job, but you're not your regular self, people start noticing. I mean, that's how it goes.
Yeah, there was probably 4 years ago, there was no way we could have traded Minka. He was making way too many plays. But when that goes down and that's what you showed to bring to the table your first couple seasons at a place, it starts to be expected from you. And when you don't deliver, you become expendable.
Yeah.
Not to say it like that, but we're going to miss Minka. He was a dog. But
yeah,
you just become someone that we could replace when you're not doing the things we expect you to be doing. So,
yeah. I'm not rushing the end of this. We are going to try to keep the increments a little smaller. But the only last thing I can think of to say is my hot take of the week. What was your hot take? Oh, yeah, Cincy being number one in the division.
Yeah.
That's super
hot. Is that a hot take? I don't think that's a hot take, y'all. Y'all let me know if that's a hot take.
I just think the Ravens are the kings of the division right now based on the fact that they're deep everywhere, defense, offense. Like, I still think their defense is sus,
let me change. Not to contradict. But I'll say if we're saying it like that, I will give it to the Ravens. If you want to talk about division wise, I feel like Ravens fare well great in the division. I just feel like when it comes to the playoffs and who can make that run, who would represent our division in the playoffs this year, I will probably say Cincinnati will last the longest. If I'm being realistic, I mean, Declan, you said last week you expect us to win a playoff game with Aaron Rodgers. I think that's fair.
It's a good expectation for a guy like that.
I mean, I want to be that delusional fan that says we won a Super Bowl, but in all reality, I think Joe Burrow will.
LSU fan over here.
Yeah, but I honestly, I think they win the Super Bowl.
Oh my god! All right, well, my hot take isn't so hot now. This is LSU. This is purple and yellow pouring
People
out of
that know
veins.
me know this though. I think I do. I think the Bengals have a real shot.
We'll keep an eye out and see if he rolls in here in a Jamar Chase jersey one of these episodes, and I'm gonna kick him out.
Joe Burrow.
See, that's crazy, guys. But nonetheless, my final hot take, which now I feel like is not even hot because he just said the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl, which is crazy. Comment and tell him he's wild. This guy knows ball, but a lot. He probably knows more than me, but that is just a crazy take in my
Come back here in February.
All right. My hot take of the week is that Peyton Wilson, our second-year linebacker, is going to be the best player on defense this year. I said he could be. I think he's going to be. That is my take. I think he's going to be the best all-around player on defense this year.
You can't give a take without explaining.
Oh, I'm going to elaborate. Yeah.
Elaborate.
I was waiting. I thought you were about to say something.
No, elaborate.
All right. I'm going to elaborate. Peyton Wilson, when it comes to this year, I think Tomlin always says he expects that year 1 to year 2 jump to be nuts. It should be a huge jump. And I think Peyton Wilson, with what I've heard from training camp, he was the first guy out, any player, first guy out there. That type of stuff sends me a message and sends everyone a message, sends the organization that I'm here, and I'm taking this fully serious. And I think Shazier's on our coaching staff. He's an offensive assistant, which makes sense. I mean, he spent his time reflecting. He was on defense, so he was studying offenses. But I would be so surprised if Shazier and Peyton Wilson weren't talking regularly. I know damn well Shazier wants a guy in that room to fill his void. And I think knowing ball like he does, he knows Peyton Wilson's the guy to do that. Patrick Queen's great too. Peyton Wilson, the reason I think he's going to be the first guy the best guy on the field isn't because he came out of the tunnel early. I think it is because the second-year jump's going to be huge. He showed a lot of things last year that were promising. I think a motor beats talent, but he has both. Not always in the league, but you see a guy like TJ, he'd probably be, I think without his motor, he'd be lower on the totem pole. I think TJ is less athletic than Micah. I think he's less of a monster athletic-wise than Myles Garrett. That's just my take. And let's not get it wrong. He's still blessed. He's still blessed. You might not agree. That's fine. He's still blessed, but Peyton Wilson has all the intangibles for his position. He needs to get a little bit more beef on him. But nowadays, we play that position a little different. You got to be quicker. Yeah. You got to be able to drop back. You got to be able to get those interceptions, not just like the old school ways where they would get kind of lucky. Like, no, sometimes you got to cover a slot, man. I think he could do all those things very fast. I think he ran, I'm not going to say his exact 40 number, but it was 4.3, right? 4.3, 4.4. It was nuts. I think he could do that. Outside of the injury proneness, I think his body is in shape. Like, as much as I said he needs to put a little weight on, he's fine. He's a tackle machine, sideline to sideline. That interception last year just showed me a little glimpse of the possibility of him doing that, like, a lot at the time. Like, every game, doing some crazy stuff. I just think also with the absence of Minka, he's going to know, like, I got to plug every hole I can. Like, Minka was that safety net. You look behind you, you're like, okay, 39's there. Like, I'm not going to mess up this play, but if I do, Minka's there. He cleaned up, as well as Deshaun, too. He's still here, of course. But I don't know, man. As a person that loves middle linebackers, I think it's time for Pittsburgh to have another middle linebacker that really takes over the game like Shazier did. Yeah. I loved every second of watching Shazier play, and I think we have finally found the next guy at that position that's really going to take it to their limit. So that's my hot take.
That's fair to say. I think Peyton Wilson, he has the best upside on our defense.
Yeah. 100%. Derek Harmon, of course, too, but we haven't seen nothing.
We haven't seen him, so yeah, but
that could be a good little.
Sounds good to me. Those Wilson, two guys. That's a cool take.
Yeah. You think?
I like that too. Yeah,
I feel like some people wouldn't say that like TJ, which I get it, TJ and them, but I just think
we're talking about someone who's gonna come back and make that leap. I think it's fair to say Peyton Wilson we'll see the biggest leap from him because
I think he'll have the best stats, though.
Atlanta Roberts took a lot of his playing time, so it's fair to say with him being a full-time starter, that his production goes up.
I think he'll be more productive at his position than TJ's at edge rusher.
He might not be the most popular name at first, Jalen Ramsey. Like, we got some big name people on our defense, so hot take in that aspect, but I think it's accurate. I think it's a hot take that will be proven right.
Yeah, I think Peyton is going to take the position of TJ when it comes to this defense in a few years. I think he's going to be that guy we all look to. He's going to be the guy saying crazy stuff in the middle of huddle. I forget what they say, but he's going to be the guy to let's ride, in the middle of huddle. Yeah. So I'm very excited for Peyton Wilson. I'm very excited for the whole team. Just because lately I've been getting that delusional itch of especially when Jalen's out there,
training camp videos. That's all it takes for me.
Which we're gonna cover a lot more training camp next week, guys. So but we appreciate everything. You ready to call it a wrap, or you got anything left?
Nope. Just to close out, keep interacting, keep liking, subscribe. Just keep following our journey, and we appreciate everything.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
We keep saying it, but we really do. So.
I mean, like I said, one viewer, I don't care. This is a hobby of ours. It's passion. We're not in this for anything other than we're going to be doing this regardless, whether it's over the phone, in person.
Yep.
So we just are broadcasting it and letting you guys see if you agree with our takes or not. Even if you're not a Steeler fan, I'm guessing you are if you're here. I've had a couple people, some of my friends that aren't, but they're still tuned in. I appreciate that. I know it's a tough watch if you don't care.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate that. But yeah, man, just keep coming back. We're going to have better. It's going to get better each time. Hit the subscribe if you can. If you're here, you might as well just subscribe.
Might as
It
well.
doesn't take too much. It's not gonna really
Won't
mess
hurt
up
you.
it's not gonna mess up your life at all. It's just gonna make ours better. You know? Hit the like too. All that. So we really appreciate you guys. And we're out.
Next episode. Peace.
Peace.